What's up, everybody, and welcome into the Liquid Trucking Podcast for our 4th of July special. I am your host, Marcus. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited about this episode. You guys always hear me talk about being excited about the episodes, and I am. That's part of the job, is to get in here, be excited, keep the energy up, and, host the podcast. Well, when we do a 4th of July special, or really any special, we're talking Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, I kind of get to take the reins a little bit. The great people over at the Plattsmouth Terminal, Jason Eisenman, Nick Meyer, Jake Debo, they're my guys. They help me out with all sorts of content that we do on this show. But this one, they said, hey, celebrate America's 250th and have fun. And let me tell you, we are going to have fun today. Not only did they tell me to have fun, they gave me just a bag. You guys, I got a bag of Drive for Gold points, and we are going to divvy them out in no arbitrary fashion today. I'm just going to be throwing them out there based on how I feel like the drivers that are going to join us are answering the questions that I'm putting in front of them. We've got a few fun things to do. We're going to talk about memories, our favorite 4th of July memories, our favorite mishaps, our favorite hot dog. I mean, this is an episode that is just absolutely dripping with American pride. And what better time to have it than as we celebrate our 250th anniversary or birthday as a country. It's going to be an awesome holiday. The weather's going to be warm. There's going to be a ton of people out there. And I think maybe we should start out, because we're going to have so much fun later on in the episode, I think that should be the first thing that we talk about, is the safety aspect of all of this, okay? You're going to hear some stories from a couple of guys here, actually all three of them, that, times were different back when they were kids and back when I was a kid. There's a lot more legislation. There's a lot more safety protocol. There's a lot more just thought that really goes into fireworks safety nowadays in 2026. There's a lot of states that have outlawed airborne fireworks. Like, I can't have anything more exciting than a ground bloom out here in Oregon, but I'll be honest with you, I can't really say that's a bad thing, because right about July, our state catches on fire and it burns until September. So I don't want that to happen to our beautiful natural resources and all of the amazing forest land that we've got in this state. And I don't want to see it happen in the Midwest, in the South, on the East Coast, out in Denver, anywhere in between. So let's think about this for a minute. You're going to hear these guys give you a safety tip or two later on in the show, but it's going to be marred in all of the fun that we're having. And so I want to say, it's a really good idea to just keep a little fire extinguisher or a bucket of water around when you're celebrating this year and you're popping off fireworks. Listen, even a ground bloom, even a sparkler, it's all hot, okay? It's all burning in some way, shape, or form, which means that it can start a fire. So make sure to keep some safety stuff around just in case, all right? I always remember my dad would always have a 5-gallon bucket of water, and I clearly remember him more than once in my childhood dousing a small fire. And it happens, right? That's what we're doing. We're working with very small-scale explosives here. So you need to be safe. You need to keep a safe distance from it. Again, we don't want anybody to lose a finger. And we're having lots of fun today, but we should talk about the safety aspect of this holiday from more perspectives than one. Fireworks safety is obviously very important, but we're a trucking podcast, and we have to take a minute and talk about the fact that the vacation traffic, especially around the 4th of July holiday, is always bad, okay? Summer traffic is just bad in and of itself, but it hits a different level around a holiday like the 4th of July. And I really think that this year, being the 250th birthday of our great nation, is going to lead to even more people out there. You had the UFC fight at the White House, and that was a big happy 250th birthday to America thing. I think that people are already starting this party a little earlier than what they normally would, which it's a good thing that this episode will actually air before the 4th of July for that reason. And I get it. Look, there's also, you got to think about the metropolitan areas around our great nation. The World Cup is going on right now. We had an episode a few weeks back talking about the World Cup and the lead up to it. Those games are on right now, and we've got people from every corner of the world in our great nation on our 250th birthday right now. So you got to remember that travel, especially around metropolitan areas, is probably going to be a little bit hairy for the week leading up to and maybe even the weeks after the 4th of July. There's a lot going on in our country. So be safe. That's the number one thing I want you to take away from today's episode. And I got to hit you right out off the top with it, because if I don't, it's going to get buried in all of the fun that we're about to have. And drivers going home with Drive for Gold points, telling funny stories, doing Mad Libs. We're going to do all of it today. All the funny sound effects. It's all here, right? This is a stereotypical 4th of July episode with a bit of a twist. But very important that we talk about the safety first. And since I mentioned the World Cup, I just want to say, to everybody out there, look, this podcast is made for Liquid Trucking, okay? But there's a lot of other people that listen to this podcast out there, and we value you and your clicks just like we value the Liquid drivers' clicks. Obviously, the Liquid drivers ones are the ones that are the most important to us, but we greatly appreciate every hour that everybody gives us each week to just come and hang out, have some fun, talk trucking, and maybe even learn something. And what I have learned in my following of the World Cup here over the first few weeks of the games that are being played, I've been on social media and I have been seeing so many videos of people from every pocket of the globe. And you know what they're saying? Almost to a T, every single one of them. They say everything that I've seen in the media about the United States would tell me that that Americans are rude. That all they do is they shoot each other. They're violent. There's a lot of crime over here. The cities are burning. This doesn't look like a good place to be. And guess what? They're coming over from Italy. They're coming over from France, from Spain, Ecuador, Paraguay, Uruguay, Portugal, you name it, the Netherlands. There are people from every corner of the world here, and every time they get a microphone in front of them, you know what they say about America? They say what I've seen in the media is a crock. This place is amazing. The people are so friendly and hospitable. The portions are out of this world, and I love the food. The camaraderie that goes on in these giant football stadiums where we're playing these soccer games is unlike anything we've ever seen. The pageantry, the patriotism, it's all there. And if you guys take anything away from this episode whatsoever today, aside from the safety, because that one's mandatory, that's the homework today, be safe. If you take anything else away from this episode, I want you to take that away. We have got visitors from everywhere in America as we speak, and they don't see cities burning. They don't see people shooting each other and fighting in the streets. They don't see political divisiveness. They see what America truly is. A guy broke down on the side of the road and somebody stopping to help him. Somebody that's lost in the supermarket because they've never been into a Walmart before and they can't even comprehend the scale of such things. And somebody walks up to him and says, "Hey, how can I help you find what you're looking for?" And that person's not wearing a Walmart shirt. They're just shopping themselves. I've heard it, I would say more than 10 times at this point in time. For those of you out there that are, trying ranch dressing for the first time, that's been a big one. We've got a lot of great things to offer here in this country. And one thing that I keep hearing all of these people from foreign countries say is that if there's one thing that America does well, it's everything. And it's true. We do it well over here. We might be a little bit pompous and arrogant about it from times. Our mainstream media might twist it up into a ball and throw it into a garbage fire every single day. But turn that stuff off. Look around you. Go out and have an experience over this 4th of July. Celebrate the 250th birthday of this amazing nation that we all live in, because it ain't as bad as what they make it seem. We're all friends here. Your fellow man, your fellow woman, they're there to help you. Everybody's fighting a battle we know nothing about in America, but we're all here for each other, and especially on a day like the 4th of July. So remember that, okay? And do yourself a favor. If you got some off time, you're sitting at a shipper or receiver, or maybe you're on your 10-hour, your reset, Go on the social media platforms. It's one of the only times I'll ever tell you to do that. Start looking up the videos of people that are experiencing America for the first time. You know, the Japanese men's national team is playing in Texas right now, and the Japanese population is learning what Texas is all about, and that might be the most entertained I've been out of this entire World Cup. And I've been watching the games, okay? Watching Japanese people experience the culture of Texas is a revelation, and it's worth your time. And it's just a microcosm of what's going on all the way across these great United States right now. So I'm going to jump off my soapbox. I'm going to put on my Stars and Stripes jacket, and we are about to have an absolute blast. Pun fully intended. Let's get our drivers in here. Let's play some games. Let's give away some Drive for Gold points. Happy 4th of July. Happy 250th birthday, America. This one is going to be fun.
Welcome to the gold standard of podcasts for the gold standard of drivers. This is the Liquid Trucking Podcast with your host, Marcus Bridges.
All right, welcome back in here to the Liquid Trucking Podcast on our 4th of July special. Those two sound effects are going to be very important here in just a second. But first, we're going to bring our drivers in. Let's welcome to the show here. Joined us last year on the 4th of July special, and we're so happy to have him back. Let's welcome in Mike Redbeard Stanfield. Mike, thanks for being here, my friend. As always, I know this is a big holiday for you.
Yeah, well, it's not really a big holiday for me. It's a big holiday for my son.
There you go.
But being a big holiday for my son means it's a big holiday for me, too. So.
Yep. It's a big wallet holiday for you, right?
Indeed, yeah. I try not to spend any of my own money on fireworks, but, sometimes that happens.
Yep, I hear you. Well, happy 4th of July, man. Thank you for being here. Also joining us today, I believe this guy also joined us last year on our 4th of July special. Let's say hello to Michael Donut Duncan. Donut, thanks for being here, my friend. You were here last year on the 4th of July, right?
I think so.
They're all starting to blend together, man. You've done a lot of them.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back in, man. Glad to have you. Always appreciate the time. Also joining us here today, we've got Matthew Stevens. Matt, thanks for being here, my friend. Welcome into our 4th of July special. You're in for it today.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course. Now, I want to start this off by talking about kind of what we're all thinking about right now, which is celebrating the holiday. And I got to ask you guys, because I know you've all been, you're all experienced in life. You've done a lot of things now for 4th of July throughout the years. So my first question for you is, what is the ideal 4th of July celebration? For me, I grew up on next to an alpine lake that's about 4.5 miles long, set in a beautiful mountain setting, and they would fire off fireworks late at night. I would love going out on my dad's boat, sitting on top of the wakeboard rack, and watching the fireworks actually go off over my head. Always just, it was like a dream scenario for me, and it happened every single year when I was a kid. So I was very fortunate in that. But I wonder what the ideal celebration looks like for you guys. Are you out camping? Are you on a lake or a river? Big fireworks show like the one I would attend? Redbeard, we'll start with you. What does the ideal 4th of July celebration look like at your house?
First, I would want to be off of work and not on the road.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Really, man, where we're at, there's Springfield, Missouri has a big fireworks celebration, and then so does Republic, Missouri, which is right next door to us. So we try to do at least one of those because my son absolutely is infatuated with fireworks. He has been ever since he was a baby. Also, matter of fact, if I could find the video on Facebook, I'll send it to you. When he was a kid, or well, he's still a kid, but when he was way younger, and his reaction to just some mortar rockets going off, it was pretty freaking cute.
I love it.
But
I love it.
other than that, man, just watching my son shoot fireworks, maybe grilling out some hot dogs and hamburgers, the traditional American freaking celebration of 4th of July, having a couple of non-alcoholic brewskis and just chilling.
I like it, man. I like it. Sounds like a good one. Donut, how about for you, my friend? What's the ideal 4th of July celebration look like in your eyes? And let's just go ahead and assume that you're off work, okay? That's something that I should have said before, that Redbeard there hit the nail on the head. You guys got to have some time off to make this celebration happen. Let's assume that you're going to be off, okay?
For me, ideal is, having the family around, barbecue, homemade ice cream, and fireworks.
Yeah, I know. We're going to touch the pyro side of everybody on this episode, I have a feeling, but homemade ice cream, that's a unique one, man. You got an ice cream maker at home, or you putting that stuff in? I know there's a way you can put ice and salt in one bag and then put cream and sugar inside of that in another bag and kind of mix it up by hand? Or do you actually have one of those nice ice cream makers that pumps it out labor free?
I have an older school ice cream maker. I don't have any of those fancy just dispenses ones. It's just it's a little motor and the tube and the ice, and yep, that's how I do it.
Okay, and are you blowing this thing out with any crazy flavors or colors? Are you doing red, white, and blue? Anything like that?
There have been some crazy flavors. I did a cherry habanero one.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good, but I'm questioning how much habanero was with the cherry, because that can go south really fast.
It was actually so I did a milk soak for the habaneros. I let them soak, so there wasn't any kind of let that sit for a few days and then used that in the mix. So there wasn't any actual habanero in it. It had a good bite and a lot of good flavor to it, but it wasn't gonna burn you.
Okay, good. Well, that sounds delicious, man. I love it. Homemade ice cream is something else. The first time I ever had homemade ice cream was on a porch on an old farmhouse in Lincolnton, Georgia, which is a very, very small, very, very dry county that town is located in, and it was an unreal experience. My friend's grandma brought out this dish, and she said, "That's homemade ice cream," in her Georgia drawl, and it was that happened to me when I was 15, and I remember it like it was yesterday. So totally understand why that makes your list of the ideal 4th of July celebration. How about for you, Matt? What's the ideal one, given that you've got the time off and you get to go celebrate?
Well, I live on a lake south of Craig, and everybody sets off huge firework displays all day long. So I like sitting at the house, firing up the smoker, grilling some meat, and just enjoying time, especially if my son gets to be home on leave from the Navy. But I just love spending time with family and friends.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. And I love that all of you guys touched the most American part about 4th of July for me is the food. Redbeard, you're grilling up hot dogs and hamburgers. Dunkin' Donuts, sorry, you've got the homemade ice cream. Now, Matt, you're firing up the smoker. What type of meat are you going to be smoking? Are you going to sit out there all day and do a brisket? Are you going to do some pulled pork or some ribs? What's going on the smoker? Because my mouth's already watering.
This year I'm probably going to throw a couple of racks of ribs on there. I already got picked out.
My guy, I got 2 racks of ribs in the freezer, and I have the word July 4th written on both of them. And that's to make sure that my wife doesn't thaw one out and think I'm going to make it for her on a random Saturday. That ain't happening. Those are 4th of July ribs, dude. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Love it. All right, fellas. Well, I wanted to get that one out of the way because I think everybody's ideal celebration has its value. It's that what it's about is being important to you. Now that we've got that out of the way, we're going to get into the exciting part of the show. I asked you guys off the air. You guys have heard of the game or of the show, Whose Line Is It Anyway, which is an improv show. And if you watched it back in the heyday when Drew Carey was the host, Drew Carey liked to open the show by saying the same thing every time. This is the game where everything is made up and the points don't matter. We got a little bit of a twist on that today because, fellas, I have a pocket full. Actually, I would say this is worthy of saying I have 2 pockets full of Drive for Gold points, and I am going to give them away at absolute random as we go through and answer the questions today. So you guys are going to get points. That's all that matters. The point numbers and values are going to be completely arbitrary based on how I feel in that moment. I had a lot of caffeine this morning, so who knows how that's going to go. But these next answers, as we work through some of the questions I've got for you, are going to earn you some Drive for Gold points. So think about that when you're thinking about how you're going to answer these questions. We've got a few different things that we're going to get through here. And we're also going to play a Mad Lib later on, which will also get you guys Drive for Gold points. So get ready. I hope you guys are all set up for this because this is going to pad the stats when it comes to your Drive for Gold points balance, all right? I'm looking...
Yeah, you suckers are going down.
There you go. A little competitive spirit in there. I like it.
Let's go.
Guys, I want your best or your funniest 4th of July memory. Last year on the show, I think I told the story about being out on the boat dock and having a box mortar that had 12 different mortars in it, and they fired up in the air and exploded. Long story short, that thing fell off the table, started firing mortars at everybody on the dock. We only had 20 by 20, and so we were all kind of in a bad way. One of my hero buddies football punted the thing into the lake, and fortunately nobody got hurt. But that memory to me sticks out as the dumbest memory, because why didn't we put that thing on the ground? Why didn't we put it on the dock? Why did we have it elevated on a picnic table? Just kind of when people start celebrating America's birthday, and especially the 250th that we're celebrating this year, sometimes common sense goes out the window. And I ask you guys this because it's a good time to talk about, hey, fireworks safety is important. We should all make sure that we're being safe. We don't want to cause any wildfires. We don't want to lose any fingers. We don't want to singe off our eyebrows. But knowing that you guys love the 4th of July as much as you do, I know that you guys have some stories that you could think of. So what is your best or funniest 4th of July memory? Redbeard, you've got the competitive spirit. We're going to start with you.
Well, when you're a kid and then your parents are finally just, hey, here's some firecrackers, go out and, have fun. And they don't really pay that close of attention to what you're doing. So one year I was, how you light the firecracker and you throw it, you're like, yeah, blowing stuff up. Well, I lit a firecracker and I got distracted somehow. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I forgot to throw the firecracker and it blew up in my hand and scared the absolute shit out of me. I thought I didn't have any fingers left. I looked over, I was like, oh, I'm fine. And it didn't hurt. And so my dumb ass was like, let's do it again. And so I did it again and again and again and again. So my parents finally caught me and they're like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, it doesn't hurt. Nothing's happening. Yeah. So, long story short, don't light firecrackers in your hand and get distracted. Pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah. I like it. You know what I'm giving you for that one? That one's going to have the, I'm going to award that as the most Missouri answer that we're going to get today. And we're going with 1,100 points on that. Congratulations on that, Redbeard. 1,100 points for the most Missouri answer of the day. Let's get, and yeah, I mean, I think everybody's had a firework go off close to or in their hand, but I don't know that anybody's ever done it multiple times just to see how it felt. What did your parents say to you after that? Was there any follow-up questions like, hey, have you been eating paint chips? Is everything okay?
So I was pretty dumb as a kid, so they probably just chalked it up as, oh, that's just him. So
Got it. That's just him. I'm going to amend the points here. 1,101 point for the most Missouri answer because you just added to it just a little bit there. I love it. Donut, on to you, my friend. Another guy that loves his fireworks. Funniest or best 4th of July memory that you can think of?
So I remember being on last year. I think last year I told of the time that my cousin's husband accidentally shot the entire cache with one of the fireworks, and I was running around protecting everybody.
Yes.
I told that last year. I did mention that I apprenticed to a pyrotechnician and helped construct my own fireworks.
Yes.
I may or may not have took one of those handmade fireworks home at some point, and may or may not have put them in a tube they did not belong in, which might have set off everybody's car alarms in about a 2-block radius.
I love it. I love
Nice.
it. And did your neighbors get in touch with you after this? Was there any like, hey, what was that? Did somebody just set off an atom bomb? Why was that so loud? Anything like that?
Yeah, and we were all standing there going, I have no idea. Because it was in, if it happened, it was in one of those harder rubber artillery shell tubes.
Uh-huh.
And after it went off, that tube was non-existent.
You know what? I'm giving this one, I've got a very special one for this one because this holiday is all about freedom, right? It's all about celebrating our nation and the freedom that we gained in the Revolutionary War. And I don't know anything that's more free than setting off a custom homemade firework in a rubber ballistic tube. You're going home with the Freedom Dividend Award right now. Donut, I like it. I like it, man. I'm giving you, I don't know how much. Yeah, the points don't matter. 1,400 points. 1,407 points there for the Freedom Dividend. Congratulations. I love that one, man. You know what? We have to embody our freedom, right? You got to do the things that the forefathers gave you the right to do. And I think setting off bombs, as long as nobody gets hurt, is kind of one of them, I think. I don't know. I didn't read the Constitution, I'll be honest.
It did not go over my stepmom's chair.
Was
She
she
also
in it?
happened to be in it
Yeah,
at the
that's
time.
kind of what I was
Yes.
thinking. She was in it. She was in it. 7 more points for having her be in the chair when it fell over. 14-14 going down there. All right, Matt, on to you, my friend. The stage has been set here. We got some good ones already, whether it's Donut menacing the neighborhood, which I think is about the only way we can actually frame that, or Mike just wanting the punishment of setting fireworks off in his hands. Can you beat it? What's your favorite or best or funniest 4th of July memory?
I don't know if I can. Those are pretty good. When I was younger, the dad threw me in the back of the pickup, and we had taken a bunch of potatoes and apples and stuff and hollowed them out. And back in the late 80s, early 90s, M80s were still legal in Missouri.
Yep.
So we put an M80 in all these different things. And as we drove around town, got to tap the top of the pickup, I'd light one and throw it out in somebody's yard.
Oh, God, are you serious? And your dad was okay with this?
It was Dad's idea.
Of course it was. Of course it was. Did any neighbors make a phone call to follow up on the bomb that you threw in their yard?
Well, no, my uncle was the sheriff of the county, so it didn't do anybody any good to really call. So
You're one of those kids. You're one of those kids.
Dang.
I get it. The sheriff's son fired a bunch of frozen paintballs at our car rally on homecoming once. And he didn't get in trouble for that either. So I'm not really surprised. And I think that I'm going to give you the A-team approved answer right there, since there were actual explosives. That answer is approved by the A-team. We're going home with 1,362 points there for you, Matt. That's a good one. I like that one. Also, I love the A-team, and I really feel like Murdoch would have been happy with that adventure that you went on. So, nice one there.
Well, would have been better if Dad had a cigar in his mouth as we were doing it. But
There you go, man. I love it. Now, fellas, moving on to our next one here. This one might be a little bit tough for you to think about because if you're like me, you've had a lot of them. What are them? Well, we're talking about pig missiles here. That's a hot dog, the most American food that you can eat. And I saw the term pig missile just a couple days ago on a t-shirt. It just had a picture of a hot dog and a firework, and it said pig missiles and freedom. And I thought, that's what I'm calling them from now on. Those are pig missiles.
Yep.
I want to know about the best pig missile you've ever had. And I'll tell you the story while you're thinking about yours. You know, a lot of people will think at this point, was it a specialty restaurant or like a hot dog cart that I went to that made me one that tasted like something I'd never had before? For me, this pig missile saved my life because we were down on Fremont Street in Las Vegas. This is years ago. I tend to control myself a little bit better in Las Vegas than I did at this point in time. But we were on Fremont Street and we had crawled into the downtown Grand Casino, and your boy was in a bad way. They were serving 32-ounce IPAs out on Fremont Street, and they were like $1.309, and I was drinking them like I was trying to drink them out of them. And I walked into this place, crawled, again, really in a bad way, and I looked up on the wall, and there's this giant sign that says, Coors Light and a hot dog, $2. And you might think that I'm only going to tell you about one pig missile, but I had like 4 of them because, like I said, I was in a bad way. And I'm just stacking Coors Lights at this point because I couldn't drink anymore. But those 4 pig missiles saved my Vegas trip because that was at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you guys. Like I said, I used to not control myself very well. I do better now. But when I think about the best pig missile I ever had, I remember the first bite and thinking, this is going to save me. And as I worked my way through number 3 and number 4, I was right as rain, fellas. So that's my favorite. Those are my favorite pig missiles. Talk to me about yours. We'll go right back through the order here. Redbeard, best pig missile you've ever had.
First of all, pig missile is hilarious, and I'm using that from now on.
I love it.
I'm gonna make my entire family use it too. Especially my son's gonna find it hilarious, so he's definitely gonna say that. So there for a long time, you know, my wife wouldn't allow me to buy traditional beef hot dogs. Right? It was always turkey dogs. I don't want beef hot dogs. I want turkey dogs. And I'm just like, man, I'm so tired of turkey dogs. Right? And one year I went against her will and I bought beef hot dogs. I said, I'm not buying turkey dogs. I'm buying beef hot dogs. And so I grilled those suckers up. They're nice and charred. Okay. If you make hot dogs and they are not charred, you're not doing it right. So they're nice and charred, you know, put them in the bun, just simple ketchup, mustard, jalapenos. Took a bite of that thing, and I was like, yes. Yes.
Finally.
That is a hot dog.
I love it, man. And what were there any repercussions for this choice of purchase that you made? Because it sounds like it'd been a while since there'd been a beef hot dog on your grill.
No repercussions except from my wife, who, you know, was not happy about me buying hot dogs.
That's okay. You know what? Beef hot dog is the only hot dog that you can have on America's birthday. I 100% agree with you. We're giving you George Washington's Wooden Teeth Award, 500 points there for the because I feel like you put yourself in danger. You said no repercussions, and then you said except for my wife. I don't know about you, Redbeard, but those are the only repercussions that matter in my life. Everybody else be damned. I got to keep her happy, or else that's when things really fall apart. So I'm glad you're still with us after those beef hot dogs, and I hope she enjoyed it and maybe changed her mind a little bit. She didn't, of course not. Well, it's a good thing that we got a 4th of July coming around the bend next year, because there's always next year to try, right?
Yeah, well, there's still this year.
There you go. There you go.
4th of July yet.
There you go. We're going to try it again, man. I love it. You're going home with some more points there. Donut, best pig missile you ever had.
all that comes up when I'm thinking about it is just 4th of July with my grandparents.
Yeah.
Nanny did it up. Nanny always did it up Chicago dog style, and I completely agree. If it isn't charred, you did it wrong.
Yep. Yep. I mean, look, there's something about a boiled hot dog at a cart. You know, if you're out in like a carnival or something like that, or one of my buddies actually funded his college by having a hot dog cart that just sat out in front of a gas station. And I spent more time hanging out. Like most kids, you know, you'll hang out at like a mini mart, or maybe you'll hang out in the parking lot of the grocery store. Not your boy. I was kicking it in front of a hot dog cart. The wiener wagon is what we called it. And I'll tell you, man, he would get them from Costco, get the long ones and the long buns, and that's the only boiled hot dog that I've ever had that I really enjoyed. I think you guys are right. You got to char them up a little bit. If they're not splitting, they ain't hitting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. You know what? I like 500 points there. You got 500 points for the... That's kind of an Americana answer. Like, that's our best Americana answer of the day so far. So... we got it there. 500 points to you, Donut. Matthew, how about you, man? Best pig missile you've ever put in your mouth. That probably should maybe get cut. Best pig missile, Matthew. Leave it in, Mike.
Let's see. Every now and then, my wife will go out on the truck with me. And the last place I drove for, I was loading barrels in Chicago to come back to Omaha. And it's one of them places they looked at me and said, yeah, you can't back in here. We'll drop your trailer in the middle of the street. We'll come get it and bring it back to you. Not a problem. Not going to argue with you. My wife had been complaining that she was hungry. I was like, well, once we get loaded, we'll go get something to eat, whatever. They're taking their time. So she says, I'm ordering Uber Eats. So she looked up for Chicago dogs while we're in Chicago and had Uber Eats deliver Chicago dogs. And those things were amazing.
I like it, man. A good Chicago dog is great, but you can't get any better than if it comes from the actual city of Chicago, I would assume.
Yeah, it was fantastic. The only downfall was I couldn't get the smell out of my truck for about 3 weeks.
I love it. I love it, man. You're going home with the Pig Missile Stink Award. 500 points for you there. Great story. Look, there's a few times in my life where I haven't particularly wanted to smell like a hot dog, but the 4th of July is not one of them. So I would be okay with that in the right time. You know, if it was 3 weeks, I could be okay with my truck smelling like hot dogs for the first 3 weeks of the year. Sorry, pig missiles. Did it bug you that much, or were you was those first couple of days like, man, that's sparking a good memory?
I was like, man, I got to get back to Chicago and order that again.
Yeah, right. I like it, man. All right, going home with 500 points there. Everything's made up. The points kind of matter, but not really. This next one is kind of cool because we're going to do a two-parter here because, as we said, Matt, this might be something that you don't know. Mike and Donut, Redbeard and Donut, both like to they kind of blow it out over the 4th of July. They end up with a lot of fireworks. And so right now, what I want to do is I want you guys to guess how much Donut and Redbeard spent on fireworks last year. So we'll take Redbeard's total first, which means Donut and Matt and myself are all going to guess. So Redbeard, be thinking about how much money you put into it last year. Donut, you're a guy that likes to buy a lot of fireworks. You also know that Redbeard likes to. What do you think, man? How much do you think he shelled out last year for fireworks? Give me a ballpark.
I'm going to say no less than 800.
No less than 800. Okay, I like that number. That's a big number. That is a big, big number. Matthew, now you have a little bit better idea what I'm talking about here because a guy that loves his fireworks just guessed that number. Any guesses on how much Redbeard might have spent? And I'd say ballpark it because we were just talking about pig missiles.
Yeah, I'm going to say 1,000.
1,000.
1,000, yep.
Okay.
I know what my neighbor spent last year. So, yeah.
And he's a bit of a pyro, it sounds like. He likes to start things on fire.
He had a hour and 10-minute fireworks show where everybody else around the lake stopped shooting fireworks and everybody just watched his.
Best day of that guy's life, I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Well, I don't have a drum roll here, but what I do have is an eagle screech. So on the eagle screech, Redbeard. Oh wait, I need to guess. Well, since we're in the spirit of game shows here with Whose Line Is It Anyway and points and everything like that, I'm going to do the smart thing because I think you guys are a little high. 800 and 1,000, that's pretty high. I'm going to say Price is Right rules, closest to without going over, $1 is all he spent last year. Redbeard, on the eagle screech, give us the number. How much was it?
$400.
$400. I'm the big winner. That's right, $1. I did the asshole thing where you guess $1 just because you think the other guys are high. But you know what? I can't take any points here, so I'm giving each one of you guys 72 points for that one. Everybody gets 72 points for me winning that guess. Nice job. Boy,
And I want to say, if I spent $800 or $1,000 on fireworks, do you know I probably would not still be married?
Well, I'd love to tell you that if you did that and you came and said it on this podcast, your secret would be safe with us, but it wouldn't be because that's available for anybody to listen to. So probably a good thing. 400 though, that's still a haul, man. That's a good haul. I like it. I'm betting your son was over the moon. And let me ask you this: did you have any left over, or did you burn through them all?
We have some sparklers still left.
Well, sparklers. That's like that's like having candles out of a birthday cake. Like, okay, but nobody cares, right?
My son is itching dude, my son is itching so bad to do fireworks. She found the sparklers. She's like, Dad, can we do sparklers? And it was in the middle of the day. I'm like, no.
I hated those things, man. Every kid loved them, but I always got burns on my hands from those damn things. So I am not a sparkler fan. I heard somebody mention a sparkler bomb. We're just going to gloss over that because we can't be talking about how to build explosives on this show today, unfortunately. But I did want to just highlight it. So, okay, now it's our time to guess how much Donut spent. Now, Donut, I do remember maybe off the top of the show, or maybe it was just before we actually came on, that you said you had a few left over.
A few. Yeah.
A few. Did you guys hear his voice break when he said a few?
Yeah.
So, Redbeard, what do you think, man? What's your number for what Donut spent on fireworks last year?
This might be a little high, but I'm going to on the side of caution here, and I'm going to say $12,001.
$12,000.
Not 12,000. No, 1,200. 1,200. $1,201.
He spent the down payment on a brand new full-size pickup on fireworks last year. Okay, $1,201. A little bit of strategy there, going with the 01. You heard it win for me last time, so not a bad choice there, Redbeard. Matt, how about for you? What do you think Donut spent last year?
$302.
$302. I like it. We're getting a little bit more grounded here. I'm going to guess, I'm not going to do the $1 thing to you guys again. That was rude. I'm going to put it right in the middle. I'm going to do $750 is my number. $750. Donut on the eagle screech. Actually, no, you're going to do yours on the bottle rocket. Tell us how much you spent on fireworks last year. $900. Oh, man. Closest to without going over. Guys, I won it again. No, I didn't. Nope.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah, I did. All right, 72 more points for all three of you guys. Nice job, 72 points. That's the arbitrary number from when I guess right and I'm the winner. We all get 72 points. How exciting is that? I'm going to give the Frivolous Spending Award to both of you. Another 4 points to Donut and to Mike for frivolous spending. And since, Matthew, do you have a number? How much did you spend last year on fireworks?
It was like right around 200.
Okay, so we're going to give you the Sensible Dad Award. You're going to get 4 points as well. I feel like that's a pretty good number. That's probably pretty average. We are talking to two guys that really soak up this holiday, so good job there, everybody. I love it. This next question is so stupid because I think I know what a couple of you guys are going to say, but I want to give you a chance to answer it because I spent the time to write it down. Favorite thing that explodes. And this doesn't have to be fireworks. It doesn't have to, you could say, hey, my truck, I love it, but sometimes it explodes. It's just, that's part of being an automobile owner, right? I'm going to tell you right now, this is kind of an American answer for me, but my favorite thing that explodes is popcorn. I love it. I love popcorn so much. I eat so much of it at the movies. I'll sit there and listen to it. I stare into my microwave like I want cancer when popcorn is popping at my house. So my favorite thing that explodes is a popcorn kernel. I know that's a cop-out answer, and I'm going to give myself, no, I can't give myself points, so I'm going to give you guys all 19 points for me having the cop-out answer. Nice job, you guys, 19 points. The math on my paper where I'm keeping score is getting so out of hand right now. I do not know what these numbers are going to add up to. Redbeard, favorite thing that explodes for the 4th of July episode?
First of all, your answer was weak ass, dude. Popcorn kernels? Are you serious? Come on.
All right, I got a button for that. All right. I've taken my comeuppance.
All right, so you know what I like watching explode is bunker busters. Those things are awesome.
Wait,
watching the ground.
Did you say bunker busters?
Yeah.
Okay, so the U.S. military stuff, watching the ground swell after that thing goes in.
Yeah, dude, that's so cool.
I mean, those things tunnel under the ground like my golf ball finds water. I mean, it's almost like they're magnetic the way they just disappear into the ground and then, major destruction. That's a pretty good, that is, I'm going to go ahead and say that's the best all-American answer today. We already had the Americana. That's the best American answer. I think we're the only ones that have those. So, 14,702 points for you there, Mike. Nice job. That's a good answer. That one carried some weight, as a bunker buster will. Donut, your favorite thing that explodes?
I don't have an instant prepared answer for that one.
Well, I think you might be the guy that's blown up more stuff. I mean, you apprenticed for a pyrotechnic, so you got to have something in there, right? Was it that thing that set off all of the neighbors' car alarms? That's a pretty good answer.
That wasn't my favorite. It was fun. Honestly, it's actually just flash pots. The basic pyrotechnics they use for like concerts at like WWE. I made a few of those when I was in theater in high school, and I just loved it. It adds it's not the show, but it adds to the show.
It certainly does, and I have singed an eyebrow at a Blink-182 concert, getting too close to the stage and having one of those things pop off in front of me. And it didn't take my whole eyebrow, and I didn't actually know that it had happened until I smelled it. You know how burnt hair smells. Wow, I think I just got burnt by that flash pot a little bit. I'm going to back up a little ways. I like that answer.
I've been to a Godsmack concert. I know exactly what you're talking about.
There you go. We will go ahead and give that one the Singed Eyebrow Award. Donut going home with 13,991 points on that one. That's a good answer there. Without pyrotechnics at concerts, would we even be having fun? I question it. Matt, your favorite thing that explodes. I am offloading points right now, so I hope you got a good one.
Well, I hope you think it's a good one. I was in the Marine Corps.
Aha, I do. I already think it's a good one.
Yep. I was a machine gunner, and I carried the Mark 19.
Oh, okay.
Which is an automatic grenade launcher.
Yeah! That's a good one. The Mark 19. We're going to give that one the award. That made Captain America jealous. 15,600. 96 points on that one. I just got rid of so many points, you guys. I like explosive things. I mean, listen, it's a good time in the show to stop and say, let's be careful. But that's a pretty good answer. The automatic grenade launcher, what's the kick on that thing like? Because I've shot a 300 Win Mag, and it feels like you're getting kicked by a horse in the shoulder. I imagine an automatic grenade launcher probably throws a little recoil out at you.
It's not bad. I mean, it's a little more than a 50 cal. It's not terrible.
a little more than a 50 cal. You mean that one that they had to take the barrel and make it a separate part because its recoil's so bad? Is that the 50 cal you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got some weight. It's got some weight to it. It carrying around in the desert and stuff. It was like 70, 75 pounds without the ammunition.
Wow. Well, I guess it's safe to say that the recoil was not as bad as the person that you were, or the building that you were firing at experienced, right? That was one thing that's definitely for true.
That very, very, yeah. We call it the Yeetus and the Letus because it's got about 1,000-yard range, and anything out there that you're aiming at, gone.
Wow. Wow. Good answers, fellas. I did not expect such good answers out of all you guys. A little bit of military flavor there. I love it. And let's take the moment to say real quick here, since you guys both brought up, Redbeard talked about bunker busters. Matt, you're talking about the Mark 19. I want to take this opportunity on America's 250th birthday to thank all of our veterans out there because, listen, we are having a lot of fun today, and this is a bit of a digression. I'm not going to lie. It's been all jokes at this point in time. We're having fun. I'm dealing out points. They don't mean a damn thing. But one thing that does mean something to me and to everybody involved in this show is the freedoms that we do have. And since we got to talk a little bit about your experience there in the military, Matt, I will say thank you for your service, and every single vet out there either listening or taking part in this show. The reason that we can goof around and have fun today is because you guys were out there protecting these freedoms that we all love so much. So a big thank you to our veterans. And you know what? Going to give our veterans all an eagle screech right now. Thank you guys very much. That was a loud eagle screech. I like it. All right, fellas, you guys have been playing ball with me today. I've been really having fun in here, but this next bit might be my favorite part of the entire show. Now, I have been really into, since I was a young kid, putting words where they don't belong. Just using, pig missile is a really good example of that. It's funny. It's one of those terms that you can fall in love with. It doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. And I don't know if you guys remember doing these as a kid, but I was really into Mad Libs as a kid. Do you guys remember Mad Libs?
Yeah.
Yes. Those little books where you would ask your friends for different parts of speech, and then you would fill in a story with the words that they gave you. If you've never done Mad Libs before, it's a great time. But I will tell you, kind of a bad move for them to work education into something that we could have so much fun giggling about, telling fart jokes as 8th graders. I know what a noun, a verb, and an adjective are because of Mad Libs, and I studied the English language in college. I would not have been able to do that if it weren't for Mad Libs because I did not pay attention in English class. So a little bit educational here. You fellas, you might ask, well, okay, but it's the 4th of July. What are you going to do? How are you going to make this 4th of July themed? And I thought about that really hard. And actually, my wife had to talk me off the ledge because I was going to pull like a really good, American historical speech. Like, this thing was going to start with something like My Fellow Americans or 7 years ago. One of the really iconic ones. And my wife said, you're doing a Mad Lib on your 4th of July episode. Do you really want to sort of make fun of an historic speech like that? It doesn't really track. And she's always my better half, you guys. That is a really good point. I don't want to sully any of the amazing speeches that have been given over this country's 250-year history. I will, however, sully a piece of great entertainment without second thought. So, what we are mad-libbing today is Bill Pullman's speech from the end of Independence Day, right before they get in the jets and they fly off into space to try to, well, not into space, but into the sky to try to fight off the great alien threat. It's an iconic speech in cinema, and you guys are about to write a large portion of it. So, without further ado, I will give you a little bit of education here. We're only looking for nouns, proper nouns, verbs, or adjectives in this speech. A noun is a person, place, or thing. That's simple. A proper noun is a specific person, place, or thing. Paris, George Washington. A verb is an action or a state of being. Run, whisper, fall. Those things are all verbs. Adjective is a word that describes a noun. So, tall Abraham Lincoln or smelly Paris, right? However you want to work it. So I'll help you out here if you guys need help, but let's go ahead and Mad-lib the Independence Day speech from Bill Pullman at the end of the movie Independence Day. Starting off with Redbeard, I need a noun from you. This is a person, place, or thing.
Can you come back to me?
Absolutely. Donut. Noun. Person,
Noun.
place, or thing.
Wrench.
All right. We're off and running. Matthew, another noun.
Well, I'm stumped.
That was a verb, though. Stumped is a verb. Come on, I'm just playing with you. You look around. It could be anything. You could be funny with it. Like, what's the funniest noun you can think of? What's the funniest thing you can think of right now?
Truck.
I like it. Truck. We're staying on theme here. All right, Redbeard, I'm coming back to you because I need another noun. We start off with quite a few nouns here. It's just the way the speech goes. So a noun can be anything, can be something you're looking at, something funny you think of. Person, place, or thing is all we're looking for here.
Knife.
Knife, got it.
Yep.
All right. And finally, we need one more noun from you, Donut. Turtle. I like it. And that one is going to repeat real quick, so I got to type that in twice. Okay. We need an adjective from Matthew. Adjective is going to describe a noun. So fluffy, silly, mysterious, anything like that. Give us a noun. An adjective. Scary. That's a good one. Scary. All right. That brings us back around to Redbeard, where I need a verb. Verb can be anything. Run, whisper, like skateboarding, anything that you can do.
Pooping.
There we go. See, I knew we were going to get some funny ones in here sooner or later. Let's see. That brings us down to a proper noun. For you, Donut, I need a proper noun. So this is going to be referring to a person or a place that is specific, like a city or, maybe a historical figure, an actor, an athlete, anything like that.
I have this prepared for the moment. You said proper noun. Was the first thing that popped into my head was LL Cool J.
I like it. LL Cool J. That's a good one. That's an American one right there. Okay, that was our proper noun. Now I need a verb from you, Matthew. A state of being.
Verb.
Headbanging would be a good, not one that I want to put here, but I would say, like, I was just looked up and I saw a concert poster on my wall and I thought headbanging. But, verb, something you can do.
Peaceful.
I like that. That's actually gonna fit in here pretty well. Let's go back to Redbeard. I need a noun.
Missile.
Pig missile. I think that's it. We might as well use pig missile. I like it.
Pig missile.
All right. Donut, I need a verb.
Ran.
I've got to change the tense of it. I'm going to make running. I'm going to go ahead and go with running there just to make sure it fits. And then finally, Matthew, one more verb.
Wiggling.
I like that one. Wiggling. Fellas, are you ready for this? Our Mad Lib is finished, and I am about to do my best Bill Pullman for you. Are you guys ready?
Yeah,
Let's do it.
First of all, 18 million points to everybody. 18 million points for everybody's job on the Mad Lib there. Great job. I don't have enough room on my paper to write all the zeros, so I'm just writing 18M. That should be real fun for the math later. All right, fellas. We cut that down a little bit for time because we were running a little bit low on time here, but I got the guys off the air. They gave me some more words. We just wanted to shrink this down so we weren't making it run way too long because we had another 5 minutes or so that we could have done there. So cut for time, but now that we all know that, fellas, are you ready to hear the Mad Lib that you put together of Bill Pullman's speech from Independence Day?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it, fellas. Imagine me walking onto that airstrip with all those veterans and all those F-14 Tomcats, and I say, good morning. In less than an hour, Wrench from here will join others from around the truck. And you will be launching the largest aerial knife in the history of turtle. Turtle. That word should have a scary meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be pooping in our common interest. Today is LL Cool J, and you once again will be noodling for our sock. Not from tyranny, oppression, or tanks, but from flamethrowers. We're fighting for our right to party. That was such a good one.
Right.
And should we win the day, the turtle will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the chips declared in one voice, we will not peaceful quietly into the pig missile. We will not go running without a fight. That was actually a really good one, running there. We will not go running without a fight. We're going to live on. We are going to be wiggling. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day. Nice job, fellas. Nice job. It earns a round of applause for all of you. Sorry we had to cut that for time a little bit, guys, but you got what you got there. And just so you know, on the outro of this, I'm going to play the actual speech for you because I think it's a really sweet speech. But first, we got to wrap this up because we're running out of time, and I got to give my three guys a lot of credit. In fact, 10 million more points for everybody. Nice job on that, fellas. You guys are going home with 10 million more. Thank you so much for coming on here and playing ball with me today. I got way down deep into the rabbit hole on how we were going to make this episode fun. It's a lot different from the rest of the 4th of July specials that we've done here on the Liquid Trucking Podcast. But I want to throw a big thanks out to Mike Redbeard Stanfield, Michael Donut Duncan, and Matthew Stevens for joining us and having some fun today. Fellas, final thoughts here from you on our 4th of July episode. Again, thank you so much for being here. Redbeard, we'll start with you, my friend.
Always a pleasure, Marcus. Don't light fireworks in your hands and be distracted. It's very dangerous. Just be safe, you guys. Have a good time. Enjoy the time off. Enjoy the time with your family. And enjoy the freedoms that we get that come with this amazing, amazing nation.
Well said, Redbeard. Grateful for your time as always, my friend. And as you said, it's always a pleasure. And a 250th American birthday pleasure this time. We'll get you back on here again soon. Donut, we're going to you. Final thoughts from you. Thanks for your time as always, my friend.
I love being on here. In the vein of be safe, is keep a bucket of water nearby. Make sure you only discharge your fireworks on a stable surface. If you want to know why, go back to last year's episode.
Yep.
And just have a great 4th of July. Enjoy your Independence Day.
Enjoy your Independence Day. Well said there as well, Donut. Thank you so much for your time. Of course, we'll get you back in here again soon as well. Matthew Stevens, our third driver today, thank you so much for joining us. Final thoughts from you before we dole out these points and figure out who's going home with what today.
Well, just thank you for letting me be on here with you guys, and it's always an honor to be here. I just want to tell everybody happy 4th of July. Everybody be safe, and just remember our military, and just everybody be safe.
There you go. Great stuff there, and I like that you put that military bit in there. We know that your son is in the service right now. We hope that you get to spend some time with him, Matt, over the holiday or at least sometime soon. Thank you for your time today, and I think that the one thing we want to take away, because we've been goofing off a little bit here today for sure, a little bit. We've been goofing off the whole hour, but we want to say be safe out there. We don't want to hear about anybody losing a finger or singeing an eyebrow, and also I think since you got 3 truck drivers here telling you to be safe, let's also remember we're going to have some crazy traffic out there over the 4th of July holiday, and this episode will actually air a little bit before the 4th. So take this as a reminder. Watch out for those RVs and all the vacation traffic out there. Everybody be safe over the 4th of July holiday. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. Here's what I'll tell you. It's going to take me a calendar year to do the math that I have written down on the paper next to me. So for you guys coming here and joining us today, everybody is going home with a fat stack of Drive for Gold points. That's what I can promise you. The math is going to work out to be pretty much even. So we're going to divvy these up again amongst these guys, and their accounts are all going to get padded with a huge amount. All you got to do is tell me that you want to come on the show. You never know what kind of fun stuff I'm going to have planned. These guys didn't know until today, and now they're going home with Drive for Gold points. Gentlemen, once again, thank you all so much for your time today. Happy 4th of July. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
See you,
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you.
Great stuff from Redbeard, Donut, and Matt there. Thank those guys so much. If you see them out there, they played ball with me today. This one was off the wall. It was goofy. It was silly, like nothing we've really ever done here on the Liquid Trucking Podcast today. And those guys played ball with me. So big hats off to them. They're going home with Drive for Gold points. I got a lot of math to do, algebra, trigonometry, all sorts of stuff. But they're all going to go home with some Drive for Gold points for joining me today. And don't forget, if you've never been on this podcast before and you're listening to this thinking, I would like some Drive for Gold points, well, we'll give you 25,000 of them just for coming on here the very first time. It's that simple. All you got to do is reach out to me. Head on over to the website, which I can't believe I haven't mentioned yet in this episode, podcast.liquidtrucking.com. Now, since we butchered Bill Pullman's speech at the end of Independence Day for our Mad Lib, had a little bit of fun with it, I figured it was only right to, show you guys the real thing, because it's kind of cool.
Good morning. In less than an hour, aircraft from here will join others from around the world. And you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind, that word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interest. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom. Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We're fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
I mean, listen, I know it's about a fictitious alien invasion, but if that doesn't make you well up with national pride and want to kick your way through a drywall wall, I don't know what could. Bill Pullman there again from the movie Independence Day. And you know what? I feel like there's one more piece of Independence Day that I should play for you right now, and it's real short. It just goes like this.
Welcome to Earth.
That's right. That's right after Will Smith punched an alien in the face. You know, I was always sad that he didn't say that after he slapped Chris Rock. I mean, you're going to take that risk and go up and slap somebody. You could have put the whole thing in everybody's head as a big joke if you would have just given us one.
Welcome to Earth.
Right after you hit him. But I digress. We're not talking about Will Smith here. We're talking about the United States of America and the 4th of July. Awesome episode. I had so much fun today. Big thanks again to my drivers, and I do want to end this on a serious note, a couple of them actually, because there's a few things that came out here that were really important today. We already talked about the safety aspect. Be safe when you're lighting off fireworks, and be safe when you're out there on the road with all of that holiday traffic. Remember, everybody in an RV might as well be Clark Griswold. They've not driven it before, and if they have, they didn't learn anything the last time. So keep an eye out for them. Keep your head on a swivel. Watch out for motorcycles. Watch out for kids. Watch out for recreation all over the place, because America is going to party over the 4th of July this year for certain. And the last thing I want to leave you with is that big thanks to our veterans. Look, I know we'll celebrate Veterans Day on this podcast. We celebrate Memorial Day some years, but anytime that we bring up the veterans that defend our freedoms, I want to take a moment and thank all of you guys. I know there's a ton of you vets that used to be in the service that are working for Liquid Trucking. I know that a lot of you have children that are in the service right now. It's a thank you to everyone, full blanket. If you have fought for our freedoms in this country, or you've enlisted to fight and never been deployed, I don't care. You're a bigger man or woman than I could ever be, a bigger person that I could ever be. And this podcast wants to thank you. So that's where we're going to end today with. Well, and this just one more time because I feel like it's warranted.
Welcome to Earth.
Keep the shiny side up, Liquid. Stay safe out there. Happy 4th of July. Happy 250th birthday, America. This has been the Liquid Trucking Podcast, 4th of July special. We'll see you next week and get right back on track.
Thanks for tuning in and being the gold standard of drivers on the road. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and tune in next week for another episode of the Liquid Trucking Podcast.
Interested in finding out more about what it takes to bring a podcast like the Liquid Trucking Podcast to your fleet? Bulldog provides tailor-made top-to-bottom podcast production services. We'll meet your terminal staff, connect with your drivers, and bring you the content you want your drivers to hear. Type bulldog.works into your browser to connect with us and learn more about what we can do for your fleet. That's bulldog.works for podcasts, tenacious recruiting, and more.